Tonight, awaiting a verdict in a murder trial. The options given to the jury as they decide the fate of Elfgard Oughtred. Day 2 of the encampment site court hearing. The region's push to clear the way for a transit hub generates new discussion over the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Plus, they're so excited.
A lot to celebrate. I think about the impact of what we're doing here today.
GO trains are coming back to Stratford. Good evening. The fate of an 81-year-old woman charged with killing her husband in Brant County is now in the hands of a jury. Deliberations began earlier this afternoon at the trial of Elfgard Oughtred. And breaking news, we understand the jury is now back in the courtroom in Brantford right now after about 6 hours of deliberations. We aren't sure why they're back there yet. We will hope to find that out sometime this hour. But in the meantime, CTV's Krista Simpson takes us through some of the final pieces of evidence heard in this case before that jury began deliberating.
It was noon when jurors left the courtroom to begin their deliberations at the second-degree murder trial of Elfgard Oughtred. The 81-year-old woman is accused of killing her husband, Gordon, at their Brant County home in November 2022.
Did you know this day was coming?
No.
Did you ever think that you would be arrested for the murder of Gordon?
No.
Okay. And why not?
Never would think of it.
During the 3-week trial, the Crown made their case that Elfgard killed Gordon amid tension over her gambling habit. An autopsy concluded his death was caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Family members, first responders, police officers, and various experts took the stand. Elfgard's daughter testified that Elfgard admitted to hitting Gordon with a hammer because she was tired of his drinking. While Elfgard's defense did not call any evidence, meaning Elfgard herself did not take the stand, the jury watched 3 video statements she made to police at different times in the investigation. One, the night of Gordon's death.
Is there any reason you could think of for anyone to want to hurt him or have any ill will?
That part I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Another, a year and a half later, when she was considered the suspect in his murder.
This is probably going to be the most important question I ask you today, okay? Did you kill Gordon?
No. No way.
And Alfie, why should I believe you?
Why shouldn't you believe me?
And another after she was arrested and charged in July 2024.
Alfie, he's eating his bowl when you strike him.
I didn't hit her. No way. No way.
Alfie, we're past that.
No, I did not.
Justice Aubrey Hilliard told jurors they had 3 options to find Elfgard guilty of second-degree murder, not guilty, or guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter if they believe she caused Gordon's death but did not mean to. The 11 jurors required to come to a unanimous decision.
And here's a live shot of the Brantford courthouse right now. CTV's Krista Simpson is there awaiting word on what's happening next. As we mentioned, the jury has been called back into the courtroom, or the jury is back in the courtroom right now after deliberating for about 6 hours. So we'll bring you an update on what's happening with the Elfgard Oughtred case and the deliberations as we learn them throughout the show. Well, now to the Kitchener courts, day 2 of the hearing that will decide the fate of the Victoria Street encampment. Today, the 2 sides sparred over whether the region's bylaw seeking to remove it is a violation of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. CTV's Jeff Pickle has more.
Yesterday, the region's lawyers argued the practical reasons why they should be able to clear the encampment, including the October start date of construction on the new downtown Kitchener transit hub. The region says the 40 residents who were there since last April have all been moved and demonstrated the region has fulfilled its requirement to encampment residents. Today, lawyers from the Ontario Attorney General's office arguing the new bylaw is not a charter violation because it is specific to the 100 Victoria site. They say the bylaw is not about removing certain people, it's about excluding all members of the community from the property. They say the bylaw does not discriminate against any specific group, saying it's not draconian, it's not outside the norms of a fair and free society. The bylaw seeks to accommodate the people who are impacted. The lawyers defending the encampment disagree with the region's position. They say the region wants to keep things specific, put blinders on, and set aside the previous case. They disagree the region has not done all they can for encampment residents and say the region has admitted they have no plan for the people who are currently living there. They say the region's plan should include an alternative encampment or safe camping site, something the region so far has refused to consider. Encampment lawyers say until the region has a plan for closing the encampment, doing so would be a violation of the residents' charter rights. The third and final day of the hearing will happen Monday. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
All right, time now for a first look at the weather. Let's go on the road once again tonight. Ashley is back at the Odd tonight. This time, it's a different sport. Kitchener Rangers back in action tonight, Ash, hoping to advance to the OHL Western Conference Final. And there's a home game tonight because the Sioux Greyhounds forced that Game 5 by winning last night.
That's right, Tony. Unfortunately for, our team here, the Rangers, they pushed to Game 5, but what better way to win a series than here at home? So I think, tonight is going to be the night. Hopefully they take this one for the team. And of course, as we can see, fans are starting to pile in here behind me. There's lots of people lined up outside. We just took a look outside. So it is going to be a full house here tonight at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Of course, this is Game 5, as you just mentioned. Game 4, it was in the Sioux just last night. The team taking a chartered flight after the game back to the arena here. So overall, their travel time wasn't as long as it would normally be by taking a bus. So overall conditions, not too bad. Hopefully they aren't too tired and they can take that win tonight. But as I said, fans are starting to pile in here. It is beautiful outside, though. It's a hard night to step inside when it's almost 20 degrees and sunshine outside on a Friday night. But we've got to get to weather because there is lots to talk about. Let's turn to our Environment Canada's weather alert board for a special weather statement overnight tonight into Saturday. We are looking at heavy rainfall for Saturday, 10 to 20 millimeters expected. Of course, we've had so much water over the last few days. There is some flooding concerns for low-lying areas. We've seen flooding all around Ontario, especially through the north near Barrie and, of course, North Bay. Here we've fared a little bit better, but it is still going to be wet tomorrow. As we look at satellite, clear skies right now for the region. We're going to continue to see clear skies essentially until first thing tomorrow morning. So if you're an early riser like myself, make sure you pack an umbrella because you're going to need it for your Saturday. Right now, 18 degrees. It is very comfortable. Southeast wind at 17 kilometers an hour. As we look around the region, 20 in Windsor, 20 in Sarnia, 13 in Ridgetown, 19 in Barrie, and 18 here in Waterloo region. So as things are cooling off outside of the arena here tonight, hopefully things start to heat up inside the arena in just a little while. We've got puck drop in just under an hour now, Tony, and things are getting exciting in here.
Ooh, a chance to take it at home. It's going to be an exciting night. Okay, Ash, thank you. We'll check in with you back at the Odd in just a little while. Premier Doug Ford will soon be taking to the sky in a $29 million private jet fueled by taxpayer dollars. The government says it's needed for extensive travel, but that's not flying with the opposition who want to see the purchase grounded. CTV's Siobhan Morris has details.
It's a shiny new addition to Ontario's government fleet, a 10-year-old Bombardier Challenger 650 to fly the Premier around on government business. The price tag, $29 million. A purchase that's left opposition leaders gobsmacked.
Doug Ford has gone from the gravy train to gravy planes.
It's excessive. It's extravagant.
I'm just outraged at how out of touch this Premier is.
The Premier's office is justifying buying the plane, with Doug Ford spending more time stateside to make the case against U.S. tariffs. There are more trips across Ontario and the country, meeting with Mark Carney.
I'm happy here with the Prime Minister. He's doing a great job.
Linking up with other premiers.
There's no justification When people can't afford the price of milk or gas is $1.85 a liter.
While many federal cabinet ministers fly commercial, the Premier's office explains Ford needs a more flexible, secure, and confidential way to travel.
There are planes that belong already to the government that he takes now. Frankly, you know, he could maybe just take economy like the rest of us.
Not quite a year into his time as Premier, Ford asked for a souped-up van to get around Ontario.
I'm the only Premier in history that refuses to use the Premier's plane, the King Air, that costs the taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. I prefer to drive around and talk to the people about things that matter.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation finds the $29 million plane galling when Ontario is swimming in red ink.
They're borrowing $25.8 billion this year, driving up our total debt to nearly $500 billion. It's actually gross, and I think the vast majority of taxpayers in this province agree with that.
And that report from CTV's Siobhan Morris. All right, Ashley was making reference to this earlier, another day of high water and even higher concerns in neighborhoods across central Ontario. The region is soaked. Crews and residents are now bracing for what could be an ongoing situation in the days ahead. With more on that, here's CTV's Rob Cooper.
Well, today's dry conditions have certainly helped in many communities, but many parts across Simcoe County and here in Muskoka are still bracing for what could come.
A day with no rain is just what many property owners needed as communities across the region continue to deal with spring flooding. Thompson Road in Bracebridge is still closed to traffic, but locals say it looks slightly better.
It's receded probably down around 15 feet, I'd say, from yesterday.
Bracebridge has been able to reopen a few roads, but several are still closed, even deemed cautious by the town. And with more rain in the forecast this weekend, people are on high alert.
I will say we're still very cautious about what will happen over the weekend. We haven't seen that full flow run through the system yet and through Bracebridge, so that can be something that's going to be tricky for us, particularly on Saturday and into Sunday.
Water levels are still very high along most bodies of water. This is what it looks like by the Bracebridge Falls today. River Road remains closed, but again looks better than just 48 hours ago. The Ministry of Natural Resources says it continues to monitor the weather and watershed conditions and has staff on the ready to assist any municipality that needs assistance in the coming days. That includes flood barriers, sandbags, and sandbagging equipment. The province says it's also deploying Ontario Corps partners and volunteers to offer support where needed.
This is very dangerous, this water, and if you get close to it, bad things can happen. So I just want to encourage everyone to make sure that they're taking the appropriate steps to stay safe and hope everything works out.
Some communities east and to the north have declared a state of emergency to help deal with all the unwanted water. Huntsville continues to deal with its own flooded out streets and docks.
So I knew it was flooded, you know, and it was a bad winter this year, a lot of snow, so there's a lot of melt this year. This is what's going to happen.
Now, home and property owners in Muskoka and Simcoe County are being encouraged not to let their guard down just yet and be prepared for what could come in the coming days. And of course, there are several sandbagging stations that have been set up for anyone who needs them. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Bracebridge.
And we're just getting some breaking news from the courthouse in Brantford. We do have a verdict now in the second-degree murder trial that's been underway, the trial of Elfgard Oughtred. CTV's Krista Simpson just reporting to us that Oughtred has been found guilty of second-degree murder in that case. So we're going to go live to Krista as soon as we can link up with her in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, coming up, history lessons from those who were there. The school textbook project in Cambridge that's bringing added meaning to learning.
And after the break, all aboard the GO train to Stratford. The long-awaited service makes a return with an expected boost for tourism. That story is just ahead.
A beautiful Friday outside and in here in the Odd. Of course, Game 5 just about to get underway here at the Odd, but rain is on the way. Details on how much and when it's going to land coming up after this. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
A highly anticipated return to the festival city. Stratford's getting back on track with the return of GO trains this summer. And that's going to mean daily round-trip service to and from Toronto, a move that is said to be permanent. CTV's Spencer Turcotte is live now with more on this announcement today. Spencer, a lot of excitement really when it comes to what this means for tourism especially.
And Tony, you'd have a hard time finding anyone more excited than Stratford's mayor, Martin Ritzma, even saying this announcement feels like Christmas. I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters describes exactly how Stratford Mayor Martin Ritzma was feeling Friday morning as it played from a phone on the podium.
Somebody killed us. Yeah, I do. Take that away.
He may have needed a little help stopping the music, but he had no plan on cutting the excitement.
Last night I didn't sleep a whole lot, hoping that what I'd wanted would arrive this morning.
What he wanted was a GO train, and soon enough, his city will see its share of them.
Today, we're delivering on that great news for this city. Starting July 6th, our government is extending GO train service to Stratford.
A 2-year pilot project saw GO train service from London to Toronto with a stop in Stratford end in 2023. So this return is highly anticipated for anyone who travels to and from the festival city for work, school, and especially for tourism.
Think about our tourists. Our tourists are 1.7 million tourists that love coming to Stratford and frequently love to come by train.
It will make it easier for Ontarians and visitors to come to Stratford to take in a show at the Stratford Festival, stroll through Shakespeare's Gardens.
This comes as GO Transit recently announced it would be adding 2 more weekday express trains between Kitchener and Union Station starting later this month, as well as more frequent weekend service. So what will the Stratford schedule look like come July?
Train's going to leave here at 6:16 a.m. That's the projection, and it's going to get you into Union Station before 9. You're going to leave around 5. The rush hour to get you back here sort of around 7:30. Weekend, slightly different, not as early in the morning.
Metrolinx projects more than 16,000 riders a year at the Stratford station, and they believe that's more than enough to keep the trains from going away again.
We're bringing the GO train service back to Stratford, and it's permanent, everyone. Permanent.
And as for the timing of the trips, Metrolinx says they will evaluate ridership and feedback. Then they can adjust those trip times for weekdays and weekends as needed. Tony.
All right, Spencer Turcotte on that big GO train news for Stratford. Spencer, thank you. There's more fallout from a W5 investigation into how one man was able to marry 4 women without getting a divorce. Now more women are coming forward sharing similar stories of dashed marital dreams. CTV's John Woodward reports.
A woman we're calling Sharon got married to her husband in BC in 2020. Now she doesn't think the marriage certificate is worth the paper it's printed on.
It's quite the roller coaster. It's a really tough one.
She said she moved with her new husband near Kamloops, BC, but soon her online sleuthing discovered he had more marriages than he was letting on.
There was one that I knew about, the other 3 I didn't know about.
3 of his 4 previous marriages didn't end in divorce, she said, meaning including her, he's still technically married to 4 women in Canada and the U.S.
You don't even know this person, and you realize you've been conned. You've been deceived, and you go, what is true, what's not true?
Sharon is one of several women who contacted W5 in the wake of a story about one man who married 4 women in a row and never divorced any of them. Each marriage license issued to Jason Washington and his wives was issued by provincial authorities, who say it's not their job to check even their own databases to see if there's another marriage on the books. Quebec is the only province that requires officiants to look. Advocates say issuing these bigamous marriage certificates could be putting women's safety at risk.
What we don't want is for the provincial government to create an opportunity for predators, frankly, to misuse this opportunity to do harm.
A future spouse doesn't actually have the power to look into these registries.
Family lawyer Hilary Angrove says a lot is riding on trust, and if later spouses try to get assets in a divorce, a court may not recognize their claim.
The only person who has rights in this scenario is that first marriage.
Police in Delta, BC confirmed they'd received a complaint about Washington and would investigate. Washington already has convictions for assault, uttering threats, and manslaughter. BC officials said no bigamy charges had been laid in at least a decade. As for Sharon, she wanted to get her marriage annulled, but officials in the Kamloops courthouse needed proof that her husband wasn't previously divorced. Some states wouldn't provide it.
So although it's illegal in Canada for bigamy, they make it impossible to follow through.
A situation she wouldn't wish on any other woman. John Woodward, CTV News.
All right, returning now to some breaking news we're keeping an eye on for you from the Brantford Courthouse. There has been a verdict in the Elfgard Oughtred murder trial. Elfgard Oughtred is the 81-year-old woman who was on trial over the death of her husband, Gordon. Elfgard Oughtred's been found guilty by a jury of second-degree murder. That verdict being shared in the courtroom just minutes ago and being reported to us by CTV's Krista Simpson, who's in the courtroom right now. Just a reminder, this was a 3-week trial. The Crown had made its case that Elfgard killed Gordon amid tensions over her gambling habit. The defense was trying to suggest that there were gaps in that story. An autopsy that was shared with the court concluded that Gordon Oughtred's death was caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Once again, CTV's Krista Simpson still in the courtroom right now. And we understand that the jury is in the courtroom and that they may have an opportunity to present some recommendations about parole eligibility. But once again, a jury has found Elfgard Oughtred, the 81-year-old woman who was on trial, guilty of second-degree murder in the death of her husband, Gordon Oughtred. We'll get to CTV's Krista Simpson live coming up a little bit later in the show. Also ahead tonight, stories from the past hitting pages for the future, a textbook project that's giving Cambridge students an immersive experience learning history. Plus, ships moving again through the Strait of Hormuz, but there is a bit of a difference of opinion about what that's going to mean going forward. The latest on the conflict in the Middle East, next. Well, we are just live on location all over the place tonight. Right now, let's head back to Ashley Bacon at the Odd in Kitchener. Ash, well, no, it's not do or die. It's win and advance tonight is the analogy I was looking for the Kitchener Rangers, because they've got a chance to finish off the Sioux Greyhounds and advance to the OHL West Final.
You got it. It is a busy hive of activity here at the Odd, and has been so for the last few days between OHL playoffs and, of course, the KW Titans last night playing in their playoffs. We caught up with the manager of the auditorium earlier today to see just what happens behind the scenes to make it all happen. Check it out. Allison, so much activity happening here at the Odd over the last couple days. Of course, we had Titans Game 1 last night. Tonight we have Game 5 for the Rangers. What does it take to make the switch from the hard court to the ice?
A lot of teamwork. We have our conversion crew who are the unsung heroes at the building. They're working the midnight hours to change this building from court to ice in about an 8-hour window.
That doesn't seem like a long time when you consider how much work goes into it. Around how many crew do you utilize for that changing?
On average, we have about 14 staff that are in as soon as one event ends. They are on the forklifts, they're on the floor, they get rolling right away.
Can you tell me a little bit through the process? Obviously, with the hard court, you've got different things on the ice, and then you've got to rejuvenate the ice for hockey. What's that process like?
So first, we are taking down the current event. So we've got to, take off the score table, the nets, all of the seating. Then comes the floor. You're taking the floor off. Underneath that floor, there's an event deck. The event deck comes off in pieces. Every piece is a forklift, is a team of people moving that off of the ice, and then once the ice is revealed, there's a little bit of maintenance that goes into getting it ready for the hockey game the next day.
It seems like a huge undertaking for around 14 people in 8 hours.
It is, but they do it with precision. There's a lot of pride in what they do. and they are professionals. There's a lot of collaboration, they're working together, and they've got it down to a science.
Now, of course, it's so great having a couple of local teams in the playoffs right now. Another switchover happening after this game tonight. What's the atmosphere amongst the crew?
The atmosphere, it's this time of year where we all kind of come together. Not only do we have two teams running through the playoffs strong, we've also got trade shows in our twin pads. Those start about a month, 5 weeks, we're into trade shows every weekend. So there is not a lack of excitement here in the building. There's a lot going on.
Truly a team effort, it seems like.
It is. We've got operations, box office, finance, scheduling. It goes on, and it really just brings our community together.
Fantastic. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
A great look behind the curtain there. Okay, let's take a look at what's happening. Special weather statement in effect for Waterloo Region. Heavy rainfall expected Saturday. 10 to 20 millimeters is on the way. As we take a look at our future cast, not a lot on the board at the moment, but overnight cloud cover starting to creep back in. And then by tomorrow morning, a big band of precipitation is making its way through the region. We could possibly see afternoon thunderstorms with that stretch of precipitation. So it will be a wet one. As temperatures drop Saturday night, we have a cold front moving through. We may even see that convert to, dare I say it, flurries. So be prepared. Temperatures dropping tomorrow night, but right now sitting beautifully at 18 degrees right now in Waterloo Region, 17 in London, Hamilton, 20 in Windsor and Sarnia. So very warm temperatures throughout southwestern Ontario. Overnight tonight, 8 degrees is our expected low, so still above seasonal. Cloudy with fog patches developing in the morning before that rain makes its way through. Tomorrow, the daytime temperature is going to still remain above seasonal at 17 degrees as the expected high. A risk of thunderstorms, as I mentioned just previously. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast for Waterloo Region, a snow and rain mix expected for Sunday as temperatures go below seasonal for the first time in a few weeks. -6 is an overnight low. Monday, chance for flurries, a high of just 2 degrees and -4 overnight. 10 for Tuesday. So temperatures rebounding back to normal in time for Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Similar conditions felt in Lambton, Kent, Essex. You're also going to see 10 to 15 millimeters of rain tomorrow. A risk of a thunderstorm as well through your afternoon, a high of 17. By Sunday, though, temperatures dropping to just 7 degrees, an overnight low in the negatives. So we might even see some ice conditions Monday morning early. So do take care while you're out and about. And in southern Georgian Bay, similar there, 9 degrees and rain tomorrow. A chance for snow and rain on Sunday. And by Monday, a slight chance for flurries, but the sun will make an appearance. So overall conditions are on a little bit of a roller coaster, but we have felt this all winter and, of course, through the first half of April, and I'm sure we'll still see an ups and downs with temperature in the back half of April. For now, things are heating up on the ice. You can see they've stepped out for warm-ups. It is going to be a busy night here at the Yacht. Tony.
It sure will be. Okay, Ash, thank you. We'll check in with you once again. Returning now to our top story, breaking news from Brantford, where an 81-year-old woman, Elfgard Oughtred, has just been found guilty by a jury of second-degree murder in the death of her husband, Gordon, in 2022. And we can go live now to CTV's Krista Simpson outside the courthouse. Of course, Krista, we were just sharing those breaking developments with our viewers as you were passing them on to us from inside the courtroom. You've been covering this trial extensively. Just sort of give us a recap of how this day unfolded, because I understand the jury was out deliberating at around noon today.
Yes, Tony, the jury deliberated for about 6 hours. We didn't hear anything until right before 6 o'clock when we were called back into the courtroom. The jury was brought in, where they announced that they have reached a verdict finding Elfgard Oughtred guilty as charged second-degree murder in the death of her husband, Gordon. Now, the judge noted that this does come with an automatic sentence of life in prison. However, there is some variability of how long she will be ineligible to apply for parole. It's between 10 and 25 years. The judge will ultimately make that decision. However, jurors do have the opportunity to give a recommendation on what they believe should be that parole ineligibility period. They do not have to be unanimous. They do not have to make a recommendation. So the jurors have now again left the courtroom in order to go and offer those, make that decision if they will be recommending what they believe the period of parole ineligibility should be. Oughtred is scheduled to return to court on April 28th, when they will look to find a date to do the next phase in this, which would be those sentencing submissions, as ultimately it is the judge that will determine her sentence of, or rather her parole ineligibility. So we will head back into the courtroom shortly to see what the jury has to say.
Krista, any indication of whether we expect the jury to have that recommendation tonight before the end of the night?
Yes, the jurors have gone in to do that. Again, it is not something they are required to do. They can write that they do not want to make a recommendation. Each of them can make their own individual recommendation, so there could be 11 different numbers provided, but we are expecting to hear from them shortly before they are dismissed, their role in this trial then complete.
Okay, Krista, appreciate you clarifying that for us and bringing us right up to speed on those developments from the Brantford courthouse. That's CTV's Krista Simpson reporting on the second-degree murder guilty verdict that was reached by a jury for Elfgard Oughtred early this evening. Well, ships are now moving through the Strait of Hormuz, the crucial energy corridor that's become the focal point of the war in the Middle East. Iran says it's fully open to commercial vessels, but the U.S. president says the blockade on Iranian ships will remain in force. All of this, of course, affecting the financial markets today as a sign that the shaky truce is holding. Here's CTV's Adrian Gobriel.
This critical waterway has been a turbulent geopolitical flashpoint for more than a month. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil is shipped, has reopened. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi writing on social media that in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump confirming the development as well, while posting on his Truth Social page that the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran, only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete.
It should pave the way for, negotiations to end this war. Or it could also be used just to put pressure on the United States with their blockade against, commerce coming out of Iran.
Prime Minister Mark Carney took part in a call with world leaders today on restoring freedom of navigation through the strait. His office saying in part that the Prime Minister stressed the importance of international cooperation to protect navigation rights and promote stability for commercial shipping through a defensive framework grounded in international law. While oil fell more than 10% Friday, the average price at the pumps for Canadians remains elevated. Gas price experts are predicting an 8-cent drop by Tuesday, though that's after an 8-cent spike across parts of the country expected tomorrow.
That's because of the switch to summer gas from winter gas. Then you have the drop in excise tax on Monday, and so everything's wish-washing around.
This comes as Air Canada announced it's suspending flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK International Airport from June 1st until October 25th due to rising jet fuel prices that are cutting into their profits. In Europe, the International Energy Agency says that continent has roughly 6 weeks of jet fuel remaining, with potential flight cancellations on the horizon as well.
It's going to take another few weeks, I think, in my mind, before we start seeing the big vessels coming through. And then it's going to take another 6 weeks on the sea to move things like aviation fuel to those countries that are running out of fuel as we speak today.
Any hope of peace and stability in these waters hangs on the ebbs and flows of ongoing negotiations. Those safety concerns do still remain in the strait. President Trump today claiming that the U.S. is now working with Iran to remove mines from the vital waterway. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
A government boost to help people with high grocery costs. Just ahead, when people who qualify can expect to see that top up. A one-time payment intended to help lower-income Canadians with the high cost of living will go out June 5th. CTV's Peter Sperling has details.
Like many Canadians, Mary Garbett is seeing the cost of groceries surge.
They're just crazy. Every time you go into the store, everything keeps going up. And if it doesn't go up in price, the size gets smaller.
And while she says she doesn't qualify, some Canadians are getting a bit of relief with a one-time grocery benefit.
I don't know, a one-time payment, it'll help that little tiny bit, but I don't know how we can move forward with the prices the way that they are.
The payment coming June 5th is part of the government's new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit, which will replace the existing GST HST credit.
It doesn't apply to me, but hey, I know a lot of people that could use any kind of help.
Single Canadians without children will get a maximum of $267, while single people with children will receive $441 for one child and up to $717 with 4 children. The payment will be the same for married or common law Canadians with kids. Those without will get a maximum of $349. The one-time payment is in addition to the overall quarterly benefit.
This is a very good step. It helps provide families with direct support at a time when they are struggling to afford things like childcare, housing, and of course the high cost of food.
A high cost of food that has many Ottawa grocery shoppers sticking to strict budgets and shopping at multiple stores in an effort to save money.
A plan and a budget, yes. I make a meal plan before heading out and make a list and also look at what's on sale.
You really have to make yourself aware of sales a lot more.
I'm pretty frugal about my prices. I'll go to different stores, look for the deals, price match, things like that.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Let's recap our top stories now. Colton Wiens in studio to run down the latest for us as we watch that breaking news from the courthouse in Brantford.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Elfgard Oughtred has been found guilty of second-degree murder. A jury in a Brantford courtroom today finding Elfgard killed her husband at their Brant County home. It took just over 6 hours for the jury to come to their unanimous decision. GO train service is returning to Stratford this summer. The province announced today daily round-trip service between Stratford and Toronto will begin July 6th. While the service will make it easier for commuters, officials are most excited about how this will connect tourists to the city.
And Colton, looking at what our digital team is working on, we're revisiting a story that I know you've covered before, and that is a former quarterback from Laurier, making waves.
It looks like we're going to see him actually play in the professional ranks now. Taylor Elgersma is officially a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. The London native is expected to compete for the backup position with the Bombers. Winnipeg's training camp starts next month. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
So cool, because he's had such a journey throughout the entire North American football system.
Yeah, no, really interesting to see.
Be one to watch on the Bombers. Thanks, Colton. Creating memories while reflecting on ones of the past. A school project in Cambridge is crossing generational boundaries and giving students lessons about history from those who lived it. CTV's Karis Mapp explains.
John really likes to play all sorts of sports. He and his wife, when they were young, figure skaters.
It was show and tell day for some grade 10 students from St. Benedict Catholic School in Cambridge.
And he's a good role model for working hard.
A history project that began in February saw the students paired with seniors from a Cambridge retirement community.
Right now we're learning about World War II, and we're learning about the start of the war and when Canada declared war on Germany back in 1939.
For some, their seniors shared first-hand experiences from the war.
Probably got some surprises about what it was like to be 7 years old in England during the Second World War.
She said some crazy things, like how one time I think a bomb fell through his roof while he was asleep. It was very insane.
The pairings were done randomly on the first day.
I was doing a presentation, and in it I said about me, and I was like, I like sewing, crochet. I wrote about all my hobbies, and she screamed, "That's my girl," and then we paired up from there.
I said, "That's my girl." You remember that when I said, "That's my girl."
From there, life stories were shared, turned into a modern-day textbook, and presented to those who inspired it.
We visited 28 different countries while working. Thank you.
Everyone who contributed had the chance to sign a copy and reflect on the process.
They get to relive things that they haven't thought about in years, and they get to have those moments that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise.
My brother was in World War II, and causing me to reminisce and go back and think about things my parents did. And I never met my brother till I was 4 years old. That's when he came back from the war. So that was interesting, touching that part of your life.
The assignment may be over, but a few pairs plan to stay in touch.
Yes, I actually have his number.
I hope so. She has my number.
Yeah. Some even hoping to volunteer at the retirement community to continue their friendships.
I get to hang out with her. I get to get my hours. It's a win-win situation.
Creating intergenerational relationships now cemented in history. Kara Smap, CTV News, Cambridge.
A story about second chances. Just ahead, the unique stage take on the notion of getting out of jail and getting a job. Well, a new play that's making its Canadian premiere in Toronto examines second chances for those out of jail and lucky enough to land a job. CTV's Andrea Case has more on the Canadian stage production of Clydes.
If you're driving along Old Pike Road, do yourself a favor and take a rest stop at Clyde's Sandwich.
It's hard enough to act on stage, but doing it while eating?
I'm not gonna lie to you, taking a bite on stage.
That's the thing.
And I'm like, okay, small bite today because I know I got a line that I gotta deliver, and sometimes I'm like, where's water on the set? I need a sip.
Dora Award winners Jasmine Case, full disclosure, she is my niece, and Sophia Walker star in Clydes. CTV News caught up with a cast in rehearsal. Set in a struggling truck stop sandwich shop, Clydes features a group of formerly incarcerated cooks fighting to rebuild their lives under the watchful eye of their tough-as-nails boss, Clyde.
Clyde's, it's a truck stop diner shop that I am the owner of, and I hire only formerly incarcerated individuals to work at my diner. And I run it like a drill sergeant. You know, it's the realities of when you get out of prison, things are not easy. So you have a choice. You either step up or you're gonna go back to.
Case plays Letitia, a single mom of 7 months out of jail.
This piece has taught me that, like, everybody has a story and we only get a small glimpse based on what people give us. And I think this is a show that's just let me know that everybody needs to be heard and everybody's voice matters. And I think that specifically for incarcerated Black women, they are often brushed aside and they are given the short end of the stick. We're already given that, and then to be incarcerated adds a whole other layer. And so I just think I look at this group of people and I just have an incredible respect and appreciation for them.
There are laughs and tears in this award-winning play written by American playwright Lynn Nottage.
To hire someone formerly incarcerated or to hear that they have a record, there's a moment. We have to just accept that. But it is the fact that she comes at it with heart opens you up to the idea of everyone deserves a second chance.
Just as the characters find a home at Clyde's, from a young age, Walker found a home as a performer. She will appear in 5 major productions this season.
I just loved the arts. It was a place that I instantly felt like it was okay to be myself. And I think that I just held on to that, and having teachers that helped harness that made me feel like, oh, okay, I think I do have potential to actually turn this into a career.
Clyde's is on stage now at the Bluma Appel Theatre. Andrea Case, CTV News.
And we'll take a short break, but first let's check in once again with Ashley.
Well, it is warm outside, Tony, but things are really starting to heat up in here as the Rangers are set to take the ice in just a few minutes. But what will tomorrow morning look like? I'll have those details after the break. Stay with us.
Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then Celebrity Jeopardy All-Stars at 8, Happy Place at 9, and cap your night off with Children Ruin Everything.
Let's head back over to Colton Weens one more time with a look at something our team is following for later tonight. Colton.
Well, Tony, as we know, the Kitchener Rangers are back at the odd puck drop in just a couple minutes. The Rangers lead the series 3-1 after the Sioux made a big comeback last night at home. If the Rangers don't win tonight, Game 6 will be back in Sault Ste. Marie on Sunday. And whoever wins the Kitchener and Sioux series, they will play Windsor in the conference finals. Tony.
Yeah, after Windsor did the sweep last night of Flint. Okay, Colton, thank you. Lots to keep an eye on. And On that note, back over to Ashley Bacon, surrounded by Rangers fans ready to cheer their team on to that Game 5 win, Ash.
Oh, you know it, Tony, but I know our viewers at home want to know what they're waking up to first. So we're going to get to that first and get that out of the way. If we go right to our wake up weather board, you can see it is going to be a warm morning, 9 degrees by 6 a.m., 15 by 10. But with that, that is going to be a wet day ahead. So make sure you pack your umbrellas because it is going to be rainy. What better way to spend a rainy day is inside the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, where the Kitchener Rangers are set to take Game 5 against the Sioux Greyhound in just a couple of minutes. Puck drop. Let's take a look now, guys. What do we have to say?
Let's go Rangers! Let's go Rangers!
The crowd is fired up here, Tony.
They sure are, Ash. Thank you so much. Love that energy. And of course, we will have a recap coming up tonight at 11:30. So join us for your late local news right after the CTV National News at 11. In the meantime, have a great Friday night and a good weekend. Take care.